So we got to talk about Elon Musk and Tesla.
What's going on with Tesla?
Well, they had a judge rule against them,
Mm-hmm.
and basically it's in California. California could ban Tesla from selling cars there.
Banned? Why?
Well, Elon Musk and Tesla's been falsely advertising
About what?
about their robot driving thing, and so they've been doing that a long time.
Uh-huh. Well, why now?
Yeah, well, actually, it's funny because they've been talking this for years, right? And then it finally, I guess you bring enough evidence. I know why now. It's a good question. I guess you finally bring enough evidence and enough, lawsuits and public concern. You take action, but essentially they're false advertising, and so they got.
But they
What's
keep
that?
talking about, it's all about Robotaxi and the FSD.
Yeah. So I mean, part of the problem is like, if you name your product full self-driving, but it's not really full self-driving because the human still needs to do it. So, like the big problem with their product as a whole is like it's named incorrectly, right?
Yeah, but they can do now half self-driving.
Yeah, half self-driving. Well, it's not any self-driving because you're supposed to like keep your hands on the wheel and stuff like that. I mean,
But they're
kinda
gonna
crazy.
try to say what is the definition of self-driving. They need to.
Yeah, they'll play
do
word
the-
games.
Yeah.
They'll play word games. So, but long story short, guys, California says they've got 90 days to correct their false advertising on basically the robot driving, and if they don't change their practice, they're going to have a 30-day ban of selling cars in California.
That's really hurting. 30 days ban.
Yeah, that would actually be pretty bad. And also, along with this, is competition is real for Tesla. Like right now we're driving a GV60. This is a Genesis. And I'll just tell you guys, this is a nice car. I won't lie. Like right now we're talking in it and you don't hear any road noise.
Yeah, I'm even opened a little bit of window here.
Oh, yeah.
I can
so-
close completely.
You're going to hear the GPS or the computer or whatever talking to you, but you don't hear your road noise. The other thing that's really nice too is like you don't realize how fast you're going because of no noise. So that's a little bit dangerous, and I think that's a lot of the electric vehicles have that problem.
Yeah.
But I bring that up because sometimes people like think that because Tesla's one of the early electronic cars that they're always going to be, because they're the first mover, they're always going to be
Well, first
ahead.
doesn't mean best.
Right. And the other example would be Apple phones. So they were early with the smartphones, right? But now there's so much competition, and this whole market is all kind of related. Tesla's in real trouble. So
But
what's that?
to be fair, their stock doing good.
Yeah, their stock is all-time highs, because that's basically what Tesla is these days. It's a stock pumping company.
And now it's again, again that the Tesla go to the moon.
Yeah. So the funny thing about Tesla is the way the game is played. You just make a promise for like the next 5 years or 10 years. So you never actually have to deliver anything. So for example, do you remember that Robotaxi presentation thing?
Yeah, I remember.
I don't know, was that a year ago already?
Yeah, about a year ago.
It was a long time ago. He said we're gonna have this bus thing and this like golden taxi thingy.
And just like a kind of sports car taxi.
Yep. And they're not even, that's not even a real business for them. Like this, they don't get any revenue. I think they're testing these Robotaxi things in one city, Austin, at the moment. But it's not even the car that he promised before.
I see. Is the person in the car, the driver in the car?
So they started with the person in the car that's a safety driver.
Yeah.
I think they might have removed someone possibly. So they're going to claim that they're doing awesome. But there's a rumor out there. I was looking at this that I guess some of these, maybe 25% of the cars have been in an accident. There's not that many. So there's this one guy, his name is Dowd. He's like keeps tracking the Tesla stuff.
Yeah.
He says there's like only 31 Robotaxis in Austin. So there's not that many.
So Waymo's everywhere, right? In
Yeah,
California.
they're in multiple cities. I don't know like the fullest. I just don't have memorized, but they're definitely more than one city. They're behind. Google's behind them. It's a real company. Google's a real company, right? Tesla makes cars, it's true, but the the thing is, like right now, I think if you follow the stock, the PE ratio is like 300 or something like that. So basically, it's just way
Yeah.
overvalued. So that's why they have to promise you a new product. And if the Robotaxi doesn't deliver for them, which what's that?
It's already way delayed than
Right.
what they promised, right?
Well, let's say the thing works. Okay. Let's say theoretically it works. Who's their competition in that kind of space? Taxi competition.
That's Uber,
Yeah.
Lyft,
Yeah. And then the Waymo. And even here, we're in Jeju. Created we saw a sign. What did the sign say?
자율주행, self-driving roads.
Yeah, so
But
they're testing here.
Yeah, just testing.
And that sound is me going too fast, actually, because like I'm telling you guys that this GV60 is really nice. But the reason why I mentioned that is just like there's a lot of cars that I think this one is in the USA, but there's a lot of cars you guys haven't seen in USA. We saw a BYD actually.
Yeah, BYD rental car, right?
Yeah. So you're going to start seeing a lot more Chinese cars around the world. So even if, for example, let's say the Korean cars and the Chinese cars and, let's say the Japanese cars and even, some of the European cars end up not coming to the U.S. market because Elon is trying to, play the government. That's the only way to save your company. You can't survive with just the U.S. market alone.
These days, right?
Yeah, you're gonna get killed in other markets. Oh, you guys got to see this. Oh, you can't see it, but
There's ocean.
there's a bunch of wind turbines over there. The other thing too going on with Tesla and Elon, he's got a real problem with the tax credits ending.
Oh yeah.
So I don't think their existence anymore. It was 7,500, and so that means that it basically costs a lot more to have an electric car, right? And it's gotten so bad to where Ford is getting out of that stuff. I don't know if did you hear that?
No.
Yeah, they were going to make a bunch of electric trucks. So that's a big product for them. That's like because Ford, they gave up on the car market before.
Not like Cybertruck, right?
No, they basically was just like their kind of popular truck and just do electric version of it.
Yeah.
Which is a good way to enter into the space, right? Take something that's already popular and just have an electric version, right? Start maybe do hybrid then electric. But I guess they just weren't selling enough of these things and it wasn't a moneymaker for them. So what they've decided to do is they're going to switch over to, true story, I guess, data center stuff.
The Ford?
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous, right? But if that's theoretically where all the money's going, so at this point, I don't know why Tesla doesn't say, "Hey guys, we're just doing data centers now," because that's the next hot thing.
Yeah, but they're already doing space thing, AI. AI means data center, kind of.
Yeah, it's related.
Yeah.
Well,
so they're already doing it.
Well, the space stuff. So that's SpaceX, and it's funny because you have to talk to Tesla people and tell them when you have Tesla stock, it doesn't mean you own SpaceX stock. Sometimes they don't understand that they're different companies. It's true, Elon is connected to both of them, but they're not the same company. But what's going to happen is SpaceX is going to go public. I think it's going to be sometime next year, and then right now the Wall Street's fighting over that because it'll be a big meme stock for who knows, maybe the first couple weeks or whatever. But then after that, I think who knows? I think there's going to be a meltdown next year, in my opinion. So you already started seeing it this year, actually, which we'll talk about the meltdown in a moment here. But regarding the whole car situation, the thing with the Tesla is like we noticed, and because people asked about costs here. Do you remember how much these things cost when we went to go see one?
The most expensive one is 1억 5천.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like 150 for us.
I'd rather get Rambo.
Yeah. So
Maserati. Yeah.
It's just too much. And then if you want to get the cheaper Teslas, they're going to be like 30 to 40 kind of thing. Actually, I take that back. I think it's more like 40 to 50. This is converted to Korean won, because every market's going to be different depending on where you build the thing. So the Teslas that we get, I think they're coming from China. I don't think they're coming from the USA. So there's going to be different supply chains involved, and then you have currency fluctuations and stuff like that. But it just ends up being not really that affordable. And the thing that is really interesting is, say, in this market, um, we're in a GV60 this week, and was it easier or hard to find chargers here? Do you remember?
Charge? I feel like it's easy.
Where were they?
Because every hotel has a, some like Starbucks has a.
Right.
So no problem.
Yeah, I mean they were all over the place because that used to be the big selling point for the Teslas was they got the Tesla network. It's easy to find and stuff like that. But there's no reason why other companies can't do it. There's multiple charging companies here.
Yeah.
We charge of all things at Porsche had a charging thing. I think that we at least saw 3 or 4 brands here. So I did we see a Tesla supercharger here? Did you see one?
I don't think so.
They're red and white. I don't think I would have saw
so.
one.
Yeah.
So that's that I think theoretically, let's say for example Tesla gets pushed out of the car market, they could still theoretically keep their chargers around.
Sure.
Right? There's no reason why they can't do that.
Or just sell to other companies.
Yeah, they could do that because once the physical things are there, it is an asset for them. And then someone actually put up a good point regarding the Teslas because there hasn't really been anything new for them for a while. Is some car brands don't change. So for example, do you know Porsche?
Yeah.
Like some of their body styles are kind of the same and kind of the same for years. And you could argue some of the Lamborghinis are like that and stuff like that. But the question is, when you see a Tesla, do you think that is a body style?
But though you were talking about a luxury car, like customized luxury.
Well, but it doesn't have to be. So I'll give you an example. The old Volkswagen, we call them the Bugs or the Beetles.
Oh, yeah.
That's not a luxury car.
They're kind of iconic design. But Tesla doesn't really have a special design,
Well, that's the question.
Everyone wants.
Yeah, that's the question. So do you think you don't think it's a special design?
I don't think so.
Yeah, and that's the question I asked you guys, because Tesla hasn't updated their cars for a while. They all look, basically the same. So it's like a 10-year-old design.
And they can claim that, we are the software company, not a car company.
Yeah, that's what they try to do. And so it shows up in their designs where, for example, it's basically this one screen on their dashboard or whatever, and it's like basically a big iPad. So then they don't have to worry about buttons to store and wiring for all that kind of stuff, but it's not really user friendly.
I didn't like their one,
screen thing. Yeah, it's not only not functional, it's just ugly. Because we're here in the Korean cars all the time, and actually you can show them our dashboard. Show them our dashboard that we have here. Show them, yeah. So one of the things that's nice in these kind of cars, and this is not just the Korean cars, a lot of the newer EVs have basically a built-in dash. It just kind of flows in. So I have two maps, right? And it's very easy to see. And this is sort of what driving like these things look like. It's all laid out very well. And then this is the older version of the Genesis GV60. I guess the newer one's got like even nicer screen, and this thing's like pretty nice as it is. The other thing I want to mention too is you can show drive whatever. Is this has some bit of a driver assist stuff with it. So, and I think a lot of cars have this because we drove a Seltos too. That was a Kia one. Basically, it just keeps your cars between the lines. And then for those of you who have cars with like the driver assist stuff, I want to hear how yours works. Like, does it keep your between the lines? Because you can actually just basically set everything to auto. If you really want to, you can tell how far to trailer another car and basically mimic the speeds of the car in front of you, and then stay between the lines. It doesn't work 100%. But my understanding is these cars are waiting to put sensors in them. So the Hyundais and Kias are going to put sensors in them eventually, and then they'll do the full self-drive thing eventually someday when it gets cost effective. Yep. Just right now, it costs too much for car companies to really do it safely.
Or they just put out when it's get perfect.
Yeah, but I don't think, in my opinion, without sensors.
Yeah.
Like camera only, you can do it cheap. That's what Tesla does. They cut corners. Without sensors, you can't really do it safely because. When people start getting hurt with these things, there's going to be so many lawsuits. So that's where Tesla's different, where it's like, throw it out there and beta test it. And
actually, one our celebrity, I think he does kind of advertising, but he made a good point that what is one of the really good thing of the FSD is that so many people are, when they drink and drive.
No, I'm not against the
Yeah,
robot
yeah,
driving.
yeah,
I'm not
yeah, yeah.
against robot driving at all. So, if it works and it's safe, fine. But that's the whole point of the California thing is like they've been falsely advertising that it works 100% and stuff, and so that and then they don't they how can I say, like, they've been trying to work with the government, with the Trump people, to where they don't have to report all the accident
I
information,
see.
right? So that stuff matters.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if there's an accident, you want to regulate, like, should all these cars have a black box in it?
Yeah.
Should they, tell you exactly what went wrong? You hear like these weird inside stories all the time from Tesla. It's strange. So I just want to make that really clear, guys. I actually do like cars, because sometimes the Tesla fanboys act like I don't like cars, or act like I don't even drive. Literally, we're driving right now, and yeah, and it's also make it clear, like, it's not just the Korean cars out there. I think the Chinese cars are a real threat. In terms of market.
Yeah, we start seeing more.
Yeah. So next year, the Zeekr is going to come here, and then there's another one. So it'll be BYD Zeekr and another one. Oh, so that right there, that beeping sound you hear, that's telling me to put my hands back on the wheel. So that's something where I don't. How can I say? If you watch the Tesla influencer people, so they're actually supposed to.
Yeah.
Like
hold
the
handle.
Like supposed to, but they always like see no hands kind of stuff. And then sometimes people will say, well, Chris, I saw a YouTube video where someone showed the FSD works awesome, but usually it's going to be from a pro Tesla channel, right?
And
so
only go certain road.
Right, certain road, right. So if you were to actually get this thing to actually work, because I'm actually not against it, right? You brought up a good example of the drunk driving thing or whatever. One thing that's done really, really well, say here in Jeju, is they draw the lines on the road really clearly, and they do something else with color. What is that?
So there's intersection. You gotta follow a certain road, right? So they put the the pink and like green, and it shows on the map too. Follow the pink road, follow the green road.
Right. And Yeji's referring to our GPS mapping system. So here in Korea, the domestic manufacturers have access to, I guess, the most updated, local maps and stuff like that. So look at this, for example. Show the road. So this is something we don't really have in USA that often. Is where, do you see on the road there's a bunch of red lines?
That's the reduce the speed.
Right. So these kind of stuff, we have a lot of different colors and writing and stuff on the ground for safety. So one of the things that is important, say, if you want to, again, have robot driving, whatever, make sure everything's clearly painted. You could theoretically do it. You could theoretically have lines just for the robot cars, like dedicated robot stuff.
That's all about tax.
It takes money. Yeah, sure. But as a general, as a whole, just think about how your life would be better if there's no ever a car accident, just for example, and the government puts money into that, and then we don't all have to pay for ER, and we don't have to get stopped by traffic, these kind of things. So that world is coming that Elon Musk brags about, but he's trying to cut corners doing it. I think that's the big problem. And actually, you can actually see it on the road too. It's funny. Look, guys. So that is a Kia K6. That's a Seoul Kia. That's a Kia. That's an electric one. That's a EV. I think that one's I can pull up. That's an EV6. Yeah, that one's a Hyundai Grandeur in front of us. In front of that one. So I'm just showing you guys. It's a whole other world over here. There's a Kia Niro. Ahead of that one's a Hyundai Casper, which aren't sold in USA. Like it's a whole different world. And it's funny because people write in the comments, because we did a video before and I showed all the different models of cars. Like Americans are aware that there are other brands out there, but they just don't see them. So for example, I forgot to mention in the last video, we actually have Peugeots here, but they're not that popular though. So do you have any friends who had a Peugeot?
No.
We do have Chevys. There's literally a Chevy right in front of me though. It's like a little, those are the mornings, I think. So I gotta take a left up here actually. Yeah. Whoops. Get over here. There's a BMW. So you guys can see on the road. That's an X2 right there. We do see Teslas, but there's not that many. I think because the cost comes in too high. So that's our thoughts. Just wanted to share a little bit of driving with you guys and some thoughts on the recent thing with California. I don't think Elon Musk is going to comply. So, because he's not the one who, he'll just say that California's liars or whatever like that. Or he'll put out some fake data and that the thing really works. but we'll keep track of that drama. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch y'all in the next video. So
Bye.
bye.